Hi guys! So basically this week and last week we were told and given a project to do with looking and observing the ordinary. We were told to go and sit somewhere for 2 hours and write down everything that we could see that we would usually perceive as ordinary, but then by the end of 2 hours you're expected to kind of see things differently, if that makes sense. It didn't to me originally, and then once we'd done that we were told to go back to our tutor, back to our studio, and kind of report back on what we saw and how our experience was. So we did that last week, and then at the end of that session we were told to kind of make that into a visual piece, so so other people could kind of experience how you experienced it. So I'm going to show you those pieces now. There's 3 of them all together, and then after that's finished then I'll talk to you about how I did it and why I did it and what my experience was overall in general, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
I know what I'm going on.
So I'm back again. Those are my 3 pieces. I'll try and explain why I did them and why I chose that media in particular rather than any other. I thought photography because that was the first thing that popped into my head as to how I could record my experience. So basically on the Friday, the original project was set on the Tuesday. So on the Friday I went back to Brighton Pier, which was where I was sat originally on Tuesday. Kind of sat there for 2 hours, got a coffee, sat there, put my camera on the table next to me so that I could see the expanse of Brighton Pier. And then every 10 minutes I took a photo, kind of sneakily, just kind of left it on the table and then clicked the shutter every 10 minutes. And after 2 hours I'd taken 12 photos, and then I also did a sound recording, which you heard on there. I did that every 10 minutes as well, pressed record for 10 seconds and then stopped it, listened to it, so I had 12 recordings as well. With the photos I then layered them all on top of each other using a program called GIMP on here. It's capitals, it's meant to stand for something, I don't know what it is, graphic something. So I laid them all on top of each other, kind of changed the transparency of all of the ones going on top of each other apart from the background one. But the problem was that the background, the actual pier and the sky and things was going over the layer as well, so it was kind of blocking out seeing the people, because I wanted to focus on the people, because that was the whole idea, was this build-up of people that I'm never going to see ever again or hear ever again. So trying to do that and still see the people and not have the background block them out was really difficult. So once I'd done that one, I decided to do a second piece and kind of try and, using my tablet, trying to cut out the people and deleting the background and then putting them all onto one background and changing the transparency and then blurring it, kind of to emphasise that feeling that they're just passing and that I'm never going to see them ever again. So those are the 2 visual pieces that I did. In terms of the sound one, I literally just took all of the sound clips and compiled them into one big sound clip. So it sounds really hectic, on the final kind of sound clip, but in reality it was actually really quiet. It was only after the 2 hours when I decided to walk up the pier a little bit further that I discovered that all of the rides were actually working and there were loads more people down there, so it was a lot louder. So I thought if I was to do it again, I'd probably go and sit up there just because it was really busy up there, and I think it would have been a better experience, possibly more overwhelming, which I think was the point of it. A lot of people on my course went into cafes and they said that their final experience was kind of, they felt really different. So I guess they had the window in front of them, so kind of they felt really disconnected to the people outside, kind of like they were watching it on a TV, and they said they were getting really frustrated with the fact that people in the street weren't looking at what they could see that they'd been watching for 2 hours. But I didn't really have that experience. I think it might have been because I was outside, so there was so much around me, it was difficult to focus on one thing. I think you'd have to spend a whole day, like 2 hours looking at one thing and then another 2 hours looking at another thing and things like that, because it's really difficult outside. But those are my three pieces. I hope you enjoyed looking at them. If you did or if you didn't, just comment below, and I'll take all of your opinions into consideration. Please, nothing like, oh, I hate this. It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'd rather not have that, please. But then again, what you'd like to see in my next video as well, just comment below. So now you've had a look into my art world. There's not very much at the moment, only literally just started the course. But yeah, and I'm sorry for the quality of this video. I did try and do it on my camera, but it only allows 32 seconds of video, so it's actually useless to me, which is rubbish. So I'm having to use my webcam. But yeah, just leave a comment below or like it or whatever, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye!